Yes, welcome back. I was just talking many minutes. Just reading Windows 2 and Windows 3. So Microsoft, they was making this very primitive Windows 2, and they sold like 2 million copy to like $100 each. That's like 200 million. So they make a lot of money on the Windows 2. I cannot find it where, but I'm still a little bit sleepy. I like to continue. So I'll just talk 10 minutes in my last video. No, Microsoft, they sell like 2 million copy of the Windows 2. That's like $200 million. That was a lot of money back in the late 1980s. $200 million was a crazy number of money. So they spent this $200 million from Windows 2 to make Windows 3. I cannot find it. No, I cannot find it where they're writing how many copies they did sell because I'm sleepy. I just find it, but let's just continue. So I think that did sell. Why I cannot find it? I cannot find it because I'm always sleepy. No, there was writing somewhere that it sell first 1 million copies to $99. Then it sell 100 million copies more. So that's 200 million. But now I cannot find it because I'm sleepy, always sleepy. Yes, here we have it. $99. The reach sale 1 million sales in 1998. That's 99. That's 99. That's like $100 million. And by January 1990, they have reached 2 millions. So they got $200 million just for this simple program, and then they spent this money to make Windows 3. And Windows 3 did sell like crazy number, like 10 million copies, 10 million copies, yes, and like if that's just $50 each, that's like $500 million, something crazy number of money. Then this crazy mountain of money they got from a simple piece of software. They get many 500 million because they even sell more. That did sell some multimedia expansions. No, that the expansions that it sells some kind of MME multimedia expansion. Is this no multimedia extension? I think that's not something you got for free. So they're selling many millions of multimedia extensions. And they have some entertainment packs, like some super simple games. Probably they sell many millions of that. So that's not just no entertainment packs. They're sold separate products and became popular. They were followed by entertainment pack. Probably they make maybe many $100 million just to sell entertainment packs. So they got a crazy number of money, and then they spent this mountain of money to make Windows 3.1 we are reading. So this mountain of money they spent to make Windows 95 we will read about later today. But let's read about Windows 3. But I need a note because I have all the video on the memory cards. I'm not start to upload. So when 2.0 was one part video, when 3.0 2 parts, and this is 14 pages. So but that was a crazy number of money. Microsoft, this is how they got so rich. Then Microsoft made Windows 95, and then millions of PC computer users using the Microsoft 95 and one Microsoft 98. So like just before year 2000, that's we are in year 2023 now. So even before year 2000, like the whole world was using Windows, like Windows 95 and Windows 98. And about year 2000, they made this Windows ME, Windows 2000 and Windows Millennium Edition just after in January 2000. So the whole world is using Windows. So that's 23 years ago. So I was adult. I was age 30 in year 1996. So that's from my time. I was 34 years old in year 2000. Even year 2006. With this LGA 775, I was an older adult, like age 40s, because I'm age 60 soon. I just turned 56, so everything like this, all this Windows and PC, that's in my lifetime. So I like to have it a part of my YouTube channel, to look at old computers, both in Danish and in English. But I do this Wikipedia in English, because why I should talk Danish about all this? Nobody understands Danish on YouTube. So I read about this because I hope one day I can get an old computer, and then I could have Windows 3.1. So, but I have this $1,000. I have a low pension, and I have this $1,000 debt I have to pay every month. And now we have a very high inflation. We got economical crisis. We have this high inflation, like 10 or 11, 12% every year, and we have this energy crisis. My electricity bill have gone up like 130%. So I need, I have a saving more than $1,000 now, but that saving is not for old computers. That saving is to pay my electricity bill and my monthly payment to my debt next year. So, but it's my plan to buy some old computers and get some Windows 3.1 software and 2.1. But how you get it, I don't know. But that's something I have to buy on eBay and the Danish second hands, like the blue papers. But let's read it.
Windows 3.1x. Windows 3.1x, a version of the Microsoft Windows operating system logo of Microsoft Windows 3.1x versions. Windows 3.11 workspace.png. Screenshot of Windows for Workgroups 3.11 Developer Microsoft OS Family Microsoft Windows Source Model Closed Source released to manufacturing April 6, 1992 Latest release 3.11 / November the 8th. 1993 License commercial software preceded by Windows 3.0, 1990, succeeded by Windows 95, 1995. Windows NT 3.1, 1993. Support status retail unsupported as of December 31, 2001. WFW 3.11 embedded unsupported as of November 1, 2008. Windows 3.1 is a major release of Microsoft Windows. It was released to manufacturing on the 6th of April, 1992, as a successor to Windows 3.0. Like its predecessors, the Windows 3.1 series ran as a shell on top of MS-DOS. Codenamed Janus, Windows 3.1 introduced the TrueType font system as a competitor to Adobe Type Manager. Its multimedia was also expanded. Screensavers were introduced alongside new software such as Windows Media Player and Sound Recorder. File Manager and Control Panel received tweaks, while Windows 3.1 also saw the introduction of Windows Registry and add-ons. Windows 3.1 can run more RAM, although it has also remained a 16-bit operating environment. Microsoft has also released special versions of Windows 3.1 throughout 1992 and 1993. In European Japan, Windows 3.1 was introduced with more language support, while Tandy Video Information System had received a special version, called Modular Windows. In November 1993, Windows 3.11 was released as a minor update, while Windows 3.2 was released as a simplified Chinese version of Windows 3.1. Microsoft had also introduced Windows for Workgroups, the first version of Windows to allow integrated networking. Mostly orientated towards businesses, it had received network improvements and it allowed users to share files, printers, and chat online, while it had also introduced peer-to-peer networking. The series is considered to be an improvement of its predecessors, and it had received lukewarm reception. It was praised for its reinvigoration of the user interface and technical design, although file managing had still remained slow. Windows 3.1 sold over 3 million copies during the first 3 months of its release, although its counterpart Windows for Workgroups was noted as a business disappointment due to its small amount of sold copies. It was succeeded by Windows NT 3.1 and Windows 95, while Microsoft ended the support for Windows 3.1 series on the 31st of December, 2001, except the embedded version, which was retired in 2008. Contents: Development history, release versions and features. Windows 3.1. Windows 3.1 for Central and Eastern Europe. Modular Windows. Windows 3.11. Windows 3.2. Windows for Workgroups. Windows for Workgroups 3.1. Windows for Workgroups 3.11. System requirements. Reception. DOS compatibility. Legacy. See also. References. External links. Development history. Its predecessor, Windows 3.0, was released in 1990, and is considered to be the first version of Windows to receive critical acclaim. 1. Windows 3.0 received around 10 million sales before the release of Windows 3.1 on April 6, 1992. 2. 3. Microsoft began a television advertising campaign for the first time on March 1, 1992. The advertisements, developed by Ogilvy and Mather, were designed to introduce a broader audience to Windows. 4. Windows 3.1 was codenamed Janus. 5. 6. Like its predecessors, the operating environment ran as a shell on top of MS-DOS, although it does not include the MS-DOS executive shell. 3. 7. 8. 3. Even after the introduction of Windows 1.0, Microsoft had worked on gaining support from companies in order to expand its operating environment on different types on PCs. 3. Tandy Corporation was open to shipping Tandy Sensation PCs with the Windows 3.1 operating environment, known as Modular Windows, after its release. 3. 9. IBM and its PCs were also provided with Windows 3.1.10 release versions and features. Windows 3.1. Further enhancements were introduced in Windows 3.1. The TrueType font system was introduced in order to provide scalable fonts to Windows applications, without having to resort on using third-party technology such as Adobe Type Manager, ATM. 3. 11. Windows 3.1 introduced Arial, Courier New, and Times New Roman fonts, in regular, bold, italic, and bold italic versions, which could be scaled to any size and rotated depending on the application. 12. 13. Windows 3.1, showing some of the personalization options available in order to improve user interaction. Microsoft initiated warning and event sounds, and introduced computer command shortcuts for copy, cut, and paste. Windows 3.1 is also noted for its improvement of multimedia, screensavers, Windows Media Player, and Sound Recorder were introduced into the operating environment. 2. 3. These features were already present on the Windows 3.0 with Multimedia Extensions version, although they were only available to users with newly bought PCs. The media player could play MIDI music files and AVI video files, while the sound recorder could play, record, and edit sound files that were affiliated with the WAV format. 3. 14. 21. Minesweeper was officially introduced in Windows 3.1 as a replacement for Reversi, alongside Solitaire. 3. 15. 16. MS-DOS programs were previously not able to be controlled with a mouse, although this ended up being introduced in Windows 3.1.15. Object linking and embedding, OLE, was added in order to allow drag and drop embedding of images and formatted text between Windows programs. 17. 18. SVGA color support was also introduced in this version. 2. 10. File Manager had also received tweaks. Split view mode was introduced. Users were now able to browse files without having to open separate windows, while files were able to be dragged and dropped to other locations on the system. 2. 19. An option for quick formatting was introduced in order to format floppy disks and copy its files without having to quit Windows. 14. 19. It is an MDI application that is utilized for moving, deleting, and managing files on the system. 7. Microsoft has also built Microsoft Bob, an utility that would act as a search assistant, on Windows 3.1, only for it to get released on Windows 95 in 1995. 2021. The introduction of Windows Registry, a centralized database that can store configuration information and settings for various operating systems components and applications, also occurred in this version. 3. 13. The control panel also received changes. Its items were now hard-coded, and additional items could be added by placing additional .corporal files. 3. 7. The calendar uses the .cal extension. 22. Printer management tasks were moved over to Control Panel and Print Manager. Several printers were improved in Windows 3.1, making the Print Manager more efficient for use. 14. 20. Windows 3.1 also includes troubleshooting and diagnostic tools such as the Dr. Watson utility, which saves information about application errors, and Microsoft Diagnostics. 23. 24. Windows 3.1 also includes add-ons, video for Windows was introduced in November 1992 as a reaction to Apple's QuickTime Technology. 25, costing $200. The software included editing and encoding programs. 26, 27,